our website at www.alfida.co.za or contact us at 041 484 1288.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. You tuned into Mid-Morning Talk with me, your host, Miriam Mia, and we're now going to be chatting to spokesperson of Gauteng Department of Education, Mr. Steve Mabona, and this is in regard to Gauteng Department of Education officially launching its online applications. So let's welcome Mr. Steve Mabona to the show. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Miriam, and to all our listeners.
Thank you. And tell me, applications for 2020 all set and ready to go for the 10th of August?
Indeed. We are in a process now to facilitate the verification of school and information, just to make sure that the learners that we have in our space, it's those that will be coming to our grade 7, that is grade 8, because we are now working on the grade, all the grade 7s in our public ordinary schools. So what we are doing, we are verifying that the information, and we've been saying to parents, they need to make sure that we have the correct contact details in the system, so that by the 10th of August, the SMSs will then be sent to them, so that they then, access the link for the application. So that's how we're going to be managing it. And we have announced that we are doing it in 2 phases. The first phase will be for grade 7s that are in our public schools. And the second phase will then be grade 1 and your grade 7s that will be coming from private and independent schools, or in the other, or from the other provinces. So to be managing it. And the second phase will be.
Okay, so basically this time it's a step process, and it won't be previously where you log on to the site. So step 1 is actually a verification and personal information updating process. So this needs to be done at the school your child is currently attending. Will each school then send out a circular message? I mean, nowadays we have the school WhatsApp messages and that, but you will receive some sort of communication from the school requesting all parents of grade 7 learners to please verify and update their details. And then I take it once schools have updated this process, this then goes on to the central data system for the Department of Education, and hence that SMS will then be received by parents. Am I correct in my understanding of the step 1 process?
You are correct. On the 10th, because we would have verified information of parents, because we said to them, the cell phone is quite important. The cell phone number must be a reliable one, must be the one that is working, because on the 10th, we'll then be sending the link to the SMS that is linked to the school, that is the learner and the parent. So it's quite important that if you have changed your contact details in terms of your cell phone number, you need to interact with the school and give them the new number, so that when we send the message on the 10th, it will be going straight to you. Because if you access the app, you will not be in a position to apply if your number is not captured at the school level. So it's quite important. The parents must not ignore this message and say, no, we will then on the 10th go to the app and access the app for application. It's not going to work for them. The system will prompt them to say, interact with your school and make sure that this number is captured. So it's quite an important process which we are busy with now. We started today on the 2nd, and it will end on the 6th of August. Once we are done, then we are set for Monday to send the SMSs to parents so that they can apply.
Mr. Mabona, is the system able to handle then the high traffic that will be coming in from the 10th or onwards, in terms of everybody trying to apply as soon as possible? So on the 10th, will all the messages be sent out, or some might receive it on the 10th, some might receive it on the 11th, and that? And in terms of the capability of the system to receive volumes of applications, is that all in place?
No, messages will be sent to parents at a go, but the parents will know it's not possible that all of them will go, same time to the system. That's why we decided to focus first on our captive audience, grade 7 learners in our schools. I need to repeat that. Grade 7 learners in the public ordinary schools. And we know the number. I mean, there are about 174,000 of those. It's captive audience. So those parents will be in a position to access the system and apply. Once the system closes for them on the 3rd of September, then we will be in a position on the 13th of September to open for the phase 2, which is your grade 1 and the grade 7s that will be coming from the private and independent schools and coming from the other provinces. So the system will not be overwhelmed, because all other people, like if you want to apply for grade 1, you won't access that system. If you are applying from the other province, you won't access the system. If you are in a private or independent school, you won't access the system. So the system is now only open for just about 174,000 learners that must move from grade 7 to grade 8 in our public ordinary schools.
Okay. And then I see, in addition to one being able to apply with the app, if parents don't have access to electronic devices or data, Wi-Fi, you've made provision for parents to actually, they support centers where parents can then get assistance in terms of Wi-Fi data, and electronic device will be made available, and I'm sure there'll be somebody to support them should they find difficulty navigating through the whole application process. Tell me, how do they access this? Will schools then give them information where the centers are, or where can parents obtain this information if they require additional support?
Thanks very much. The information will be on our social media platforms. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, or Instagram. The information will be readily available there. Our website as well will contain that information. And the toll-free will be 0800 000 789. 0800 000 789. When you call our call center, they should be in a position to say, in your area, these are the centers that are available for you. But all our districts, we have 15 districts in Gauteng. All our districts will have 1 or 2 decentralized offices or centers that our parents need to go and be assisted there. So we should be in a position to manage, because most of our parents, they will remotely actually manage to apply, because this system is quite easy, user friendly, take you through the process on how to do it, and it should not be difficult, because there's some element of the system being improved. There are some areas where we used to require certain information, but now, because we have information, we have simplified the system. So when you go through the system, it's very easy for you to navigate in the system. So we are quite ready, and we should be in a position to assist parents in those centers, and all our districts have 1 or 2 offices to assist them.
And then moving on, in terms of criteria for schools, because obviously parents have a first choice where they would like their children to attend for various reasons. So it's not necessarily the school in the area, but in terms of choosing a school, parents might have other criteria that they look at. The system allows one to put choices in order 1 to 5 or 1 to 3, or what is it?
So the system will allow a parent to choose 5 schools. So you can choose 5 schools, but
Mr. Mabona, you're breaking up. Can we just go for a short break while we get my engineer to just sort out the issue, the connectivity issue, and we will resume. We're going to take a short break while we get a better line for Mr. Mabona, spokesperson of Department of Education.
Know which schools you want, so you will then apply there. We should be in a position that
1 July is day 0 for the Kucha Dam, resulting in dry taps for hundreds of families in the surrounding areas of Port Elizabeth. Help us strategize. Support our water drive in the Eastern Cape region of South Africa. Donate your lilla towards the erecting of JoJo tanks in impoverished areas and for the vehicles to deliver water in areas of need. Donate to the Al-Fida Foundation. Visit our website at www.alfida.co.za or contact us at 041 484 1288.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails,
yeah, just put it up for that.
and so much
Ask
more.
Nazreen, how is it that when I went for break, he was
Visit our social media
still...
pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's,
on a
the
break, we're
taste
trying to get
with
his
kick.
line clearer, because the thing with them, these spokesperson, they don't like hanging out.
make
So
the
please tell
humanitarian
Nazreen,
crisis
she
in
must
Yemen
clean
the
it.
worst in the
When we
world.
get people like
More
that,
than
she must
20
clean
million
it according
Yemenis
to not
do not
breaking
know
the
where
thing.
their next meal is coming
Because
from,
she's
and over
insisting
10
for break,
million
but that's why I'm
are
saying we need
suffering
to sort out our
extreme
heads,
levels of
because
hunger.
then they
With
go
your
in.
support, the Al Imdad
They click out,
Foundation
so please
delivers
tell her that.
essential food
So she
aid to
needs to know
starving
who's that.
Yemeni communities. It's a question of survival. So let's do what's right. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
These are the days of Eid. Make takbir wherever you are. These are the days of Eid. Allah.
Add a sprinkling of sparkles to your magical parties and special occasions with colorful party supplies and awesome helium balloons. Celebrate Eid al-Adha in style with our stunning range of decorations, disposable tableware, meat bags and tags, Ziploc and self-sealing bags, refuse bags, polystyrene and foil trays, pallet wrap, Icona wraps, buff and clear tape. Eid al-Adha essentials galore. Be sparkled by our wide range of baking ingredients, baking tools, and bakeware. Stunning edible cake decor for Eid al-Adha. Sprinkles and Sparkles Party Shop. You'll want it all. Open Monday to Sunday. Visit us at 431 Inanda Road, Parlock, Durban, South Africa. Call 031 577 0604. Follow us on Instagram at Sprink and Spark and Facebook at Sprinkles and Sparkles.
Sustain, sacrifice, share. This Eid al-Adha, donate your Qurbani through Africa Muslims Agency. We ensure that your Udhiyah Qurbani not only feeds the poor, but creates sustainable incomes for local farmers, brings a practice of sacrifice to the villages, and shares the spirit of Eid. Sponsor in South Africa for 2,400 Rand. Africa, 1,500 Rand. Palestine, 6,150 Rand. Syria, 4,000 Rand. Donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za or call 011-834-8685. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. You tuned into Salam Media Mid-Morning Talk, and I have on the line, thank you, Mr. Steve Mabona, for holding on during our commercial break, and hopefully we've got you on a clearer line. We were discussing in terms of applying for 5 schools. You said parents are able to put in order of preference 5 schools that they would like their children to attend for 2022. So can you just explain to us how do we do it? And also, once an accept, okay, let's answer that, and then we can move on to once an acceptance SMS has come through.
Look, there's like as I said, you can apply to 5 schools, but the criteria is quite clear in terms of how we're going to prioritize you. The home address within feeder zone, that's the paramount. That's what is important, because we want children to be closer to home. You know, they don't need to be very far from home. When they go to school, they need to go closer. So the home address within the feeder zone is quite the first one. That's how we're going to prioritize. The second one will be a sibling. If there's a sibling in that school, then we would then have to also prioritize. And then we have an option of those that work not far from the school. They might have an interest of applying at that school. And you have those that are within 30-kilometer radius within the school feeder zone. And you will also then have those that are beyond 30-kilometer radius. That's how you then prioritize and make sure that you accommodate learners in a school.
Okay, Sam, I just thinking about, in an ideal setting, it would be, I mean, that's the ideal, so that learners are not commuting long distances to school and back for various reasons. However, that's not always the case. There might be a school down the road, but for some reason, those schools might be under-resourced. There might be evident problems in that schools that deter parents to not to send their children there and look elsewhere. And conversely, there might be a school that maybe 10 kilometers away, but I mean, they have good results in terms of academics, in terms of sports, or whatever. And I mean, criteria are different. So is there any provision in the system where parents can motivate maybe their first and second choice in terms of why they'd like their child to attend that school?
No, they can't.
They can't.
No, they can't. We prioritize people who stay in the area. Just imagine you staying in an area, failing to access a school because the school is full because of people who come far from their school. You can't access the school. We are just close here, but people that come from far, they've motivated, then they got that school. Doesn't make sense. So that's why we prioritize people that are closer to schools. Secondly, now we have now introduced this new form of utilizing your phases. Phase 1, we focus on learners that are in our system. It's captive audience. We know how many they are. That's why we said let's interact with parents. If we see that information is not updated, let's have that information being updated and try not to frustrate the current parents that are in our system. Make sure that they are accommodated. Then we can open the system for those that are outside our system who want to come in. That we took a conscious decision that, look, we really need to be fair to parents that are within our public ordinary schools, and surely they are very much happy about this new initiative, which we want to facilitate and make sure that we lessen the burden of them having to wait for space that they might not even get. So because we know now, look at the number of schools that are in the area and make sure that we then prioritize them in that fashion.
And then moving on to documentation that needs to be loaded onto the system, birth certificates, ID documents, and I don't know, maybe for the grade 1s, clinic cards, if that's required. Will this then be forwarded to the schools, or then parents need to do an alternate submission to the schools they applied for in terms of these documentation? How does this work? Will that app then automatically forward these documents to schools, or then parents will need to then have on a separate portal or email the school or hand in these documentation? How does this work?
The parents must upload the documents on the system. At the end of the system, when you are applying, it will then prompt you to say, then you need to upload documents. So it's always advisable when you are applying, keep your documents close to you, so that at the end, that you are in a position to upload documents. But if you can't upload on the system, then you can still submit those documents at school. So it's important that those documents must be submitted, that they must be certified documents. And yes, you are correct, for grade 1, we need an immunization card, or you call it the Road to Health card. Is a card that it will be an indication that a child, since she or he was an infant, went through that process of immunization to make sure that the child is healthy, the child is protected on all other ailments that are there, and so we use that and make sure that that is form part of our documentation. We know that yesterday some parents were confused because there was an element of saying vaccination card. Then people thought that we're talking about COVID-19. So we had to go and rectify that. But vaccination has been there all our lives. It's a matter of now people being cautious that there's COVID-19. Now they said it's a COVID-19 vaccination. It can't be. Children are not being vaccinated now on COVID-19. So it's the immunization process that we all know as parents that it does happen up until the child is 5 years of age. So need that road to health, so that we then are in a position to know how the child was managed in terms of his or her health. So those are the documents that we need.
Okay, Mr. Mabona, let's talk. You've mentioned now two terms, which the captive audience and then the captive parents or learners that you have already there. Those are the learners that are in your system. You've streamlined the process for them as well to go. But your unknown variable will be those then applying in phase 2 in terms of how many entering the system for grade 1, as well as those coming from independent institutions, as well as from other provinces in this. Does Gauteng Department of Education, in terms of schools and placements, have the capacity to accommodate every learner there in terms of space at school? Because that's a unknown variable. Especially, let's look at the grade 1s.
The answer is easy: we don't. That's why we decided that let's lessen our headache on the captive audience that we have. Can't we deal with that one easy, seamless? And we know that we don't have headache there. Then we go to grade 1 and 8 of people that we don't know. How many will they be in terms of the application process? Because the captive audience, we know, it's over 174,000 already. We're going to accommodate those. They are in our space. The grade 1s and the grade 7s that will be coming from independent and private schools, we don't know how many they are, and from other provinces. And we know that every year we do have people come from the provinces. We do have people coming from private and independent schools. Now it's worse with COVID. Many people lost jobs. The economy is now impacted so severely. So we know that the number would be high than what we normally receive. And even in that case, it's impossible that we will accommodate everyone that applies in our schools. It's impossible for us to accommodate people that will be applying to a certain school, all of them. a school to a certain extent will have a certain a number of spaces that are available. Then those that we cannot accommodate there, we will then be sending them to neighboring schools that can still, accommodate them. But further than that, yes, we can, confirm now here that we will not.
Mr. Mabona, we're losing you again. Let's just check. Maybe let's leave the interview for today there. We've got an idea in terms of the process, the verification and updates that is currently happening. So please, parents, if you have learners who are in grade 7 currently at Department of Education, Gauteng schools, please, when that message comes to you that you need to verify and update your personal details, please do so. And remember, is Mr. Steve Mabona, and we thank him for his time, and this is valuable information that he's communicated to us regarding the process. So that, as he mentioned, that cell phone number, your cell phone number that you will then be communicating with the school and providing, that is important in terms of this entire process of application. So you will receive an SMS indicating you are now eligible to apply on the app online. According to him, the process has been streamlined. There's support for parents who don't have access to electronic devices as well. And yes, so follow the steps. The department does have a number that you can call should you, the Gauteng Department of Education, should you experience any problems. What we'll do is in 2 weeks' time, once applications are open in terms of submission, we will try and get Mr. Steve Mabona back on just to give us an update on terms of how is this process progressing. Let's take a short break, and after the break, we're going to be speaking to clinical psychologist Kaylee Jorgensen into how tips on advice on how to handle anxiety and